Hello everyone. Again, this is John Coleman with Clips Tips, and today we are going to discuss part 3 of clip features you might not know about. Most of these features will be today on the route sheets section of Clip, going over a few features you may not be aware of that you could do with route sheets. So let's get started. Alright, first thing you might not know about that you can do is in the options menu right towards the middle of our screen. So I'm going to go ahead and hit options, and what you're able to do here is you're able to edit and assign headers for your route sheets. This is the section that will come at the top of the first sheet on a set of route sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and hit edit headers, and what this will enable us to do is assign up to, looks like 100 different headers to create for different types of scenarios. So this is our header number 1. It has something about checking the oil and the equipment and mowers. Has something about the name, start time, lunch in, lunch out, stop time, etc. Here's another version of it. We go down to header 3. Crew leader Bobby. Bobby, have a great day. Just an example thing there. So you could put a specific crew information in here. You can also rename the header over here. So maybe we'll call this crew Todd Lash, and that will save the header name as Todd Lash. Another thing you're able to do after you've created the headers is to assign those headers to a particular crew. So let's say whenever we want to print work for crew 4, we would want header number 4 to show up. So I'd go ahead and hit assign headers, and I would choose which crew I wanted to assign. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to hit enter to select the crew Todd Lash header. So now every time I print out something for crew 4, it's going to show up with this header. So that can be useful, just saving some typing time or writing time. We'll go ahead and hit escape to get out of this. And that is our first tip, editing and assigning headers to your route sheets. Okay, another thing you may not be aware of, especially if you have not been using Clip for a long time, is that there are multiple different route sheet layouts you can choose. We have preset, looks like about 6 or 7 different types of route sheets. I'll go over some of the more important ones, or the ones that I think might be beneficial to you. Other than the regular route sheet, the enhanced route sheet will show you times broken out by the number of men on the crew. So I will give you an example of this. This job does not have any time assigned to it, but this job here, we have our total budgeted hours was 3.3. That's what we entered back into the job detail screen. And now, as you'll see, it'll show the 3 hours 15 minutes for 1 man. But if we got 2 men, 3 men, 4 men, etc., this will show how much time that crew has to do this job. So that's helpful if you're working with multi-man crews, just so they can see the time that they have on that particular job and not have to do that calculation themselves. So that again is the enhanced route sheet. Abbreviated route sheet, that'll just fit more on one single page. It squishes everything down, uses a little bit smaller font. Expanded route sheet, that's a little bit bigger. If you got someone who can't read small letters very easily, this could be helpful. Route sheet with pictures, if you have pictures attached to jobs, it will print those pictures out with it. Route sheet thumbnail map can be helpful. I'm not going to go ahead and do it right now because it takes a little bit of time to process, but what that will do is next to the address, it'll use a small map that it pulled from MapPoint, take a little screenshot of where that property is, so that can be an indication to the crew when they're getting to the final stretch of finding the property where exactly it is. And lastly, you're able to actually create your own route sheets if we choose custom route sheet. If I choose that, it'll open up this screen, and here I have the option of selecting any of the route sheets that have already been created. The ones at the top, you'll see no modify over here grayed out. That means that these are the default route sheets. You can't actually change the defaults that we have set up. But what you can do is you can make a copy of them by, let's say we wanted to use the regular route sheet as our template. I'm going to go ahead and add new. I can add a name for it, so I'm just going to call it test route sheet. Oh, looks like I already got one of those. Let's try another one. Test route sheet 2. Oh, it says spaces are not allowed. So. Alright, now we have our new route sheet. I can modify this by hitting the modify button, and this will take some learning. You can possibly call support to talk about how to use this. If you got a little bit of computer savvy, probably be able to figure it out. But basically you can just move things around, you can add fields, you can add text, whatever you choose to do so. So we've actually used this ourselves to add specific things to a route sheet that we might want to appear that aren't necessarily there. So once we've finished editing, we'll save, come back out, hit choose, and now we're going to be using that route sheet for printing the work. Okay, so that is choosing other types of route sheets, including custom route sheets. Next, normally when you print out your work, it's going to be sorted by crew and route, but you also have the option to manually order your route. What this is going to enable you to do is if you have new jobs on the route, or you know you need to change something for a specific day but you don't want to change it permanently, you can come over here after you choose manual/map point as the sort options, hit manually order route sheets, and it will show you all the work that's in the workbank here, sorted by which crews are doing the work. And now what you can do, if you click over on the left here in the gray box, click, hold, and you can then drag this. So now I've moved Roberta Johnson to the end of the route instead of being at the beginning. You could also change crews for a particular job for this day. So let's say I wanted to choose Linda Cameron here, and I want to actually add her to crew 3 because I know they're going to be in that area. I'll just drag it up, and now she's going to print out for crew 3. Last thing on this is that you can actually not only drag the jobs themselves, but you can drag the crew. So if I click on here and hold it and drag up, I've now changed all of this work to be under crew 3 and nothing then for crew 2. So that can be helpful, once again, just for one day changing a route. This isn't going to change anything permanently. So that is manually ordering the route sheets. Next is the option to print work for a specific date. If you're printing ahead of time and you don't necessarily want to refresh the workbank, you can choose the print for date of, and then I can go in here and change my date ahead of time. And what this will do is it will act as if you have refreshed the workbank for a future date and print work for that specific day. Okay, well that'll do it for the route sheet section. One additional feature you might not know about that I wanted to cover is the calendar feature. This is to the left of the work orders button on the home screen. So if I click here, this will show me a view of my current week's work, sorted by day. I could click the arrow buttons left or right to go forward or backward to see different days. I can change my crew range up here. But the cool feature that I wanted to show you here that some of you may not know about is the ability to change the schedule by dragging and dropping. In order to do this, I'm going to click on the customer that I want to move. I'm going to click and hold and drag to the day that I want to change it to. And it has now changed Aparna Davi to a different day. One more time here, click and hold, drag to another day. And that will change the schedule for the particular customer. You could also edit it by clicking the edit button. That'll do it for Clips Tips for today. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for another installment of clip features you might not know about. Thanks everyone.